Hey everybody, Blaise here, and it is June 18th. Almost said January. June 18th, happy Friday. We're back for another live stream. We're really excited today. Today's a big day for us. We have another course that is out and available in pre-order. We're so excited about today. First of all, I've got Dustin here with me, as usual. Dustin Blaise, my son. We got Nick over in the other side.
Hello, everybody.
And do we have a camera on Nick?
Nope.
We do not have a camera.
We don't have a camera on Nick.
I don't want one.
I want a camera on everybody.
I'm going to turn it off.
But we're really excited because we finally got to the point where we could get our course that we've been working on, drawing costume figures, drawing and painting costume figures. We finally got that to where we can put it in pre-order. We're going to be ready to get it out to you guys probably in the next 2 weeks. And we're down to our last couple of videos, Dustin and I shooting. And so we thought today would be the perfect day to announce it and get it out in pre-order. We just finished up a new painting in oil yesterday of my stepdaughter, Gloria. I'm really excited about it. You can probably see a little glimmer of it back there in the background. Can you see it there? There you go. Thanks, Dustin. Thanks for getting that on the spot. Right there. So there it is. And we had a lot of fun painting that. We just finished that. We spent about a week on that. We're going to do another one. We've got some acrylic painting we're going to do. We're going to do some charcoal. We've done some watercolor. We've done all kinds of stuff. Long poses, short poses, 2-minute poses. We've talked about folds. We've talked about all kinds of stuff. This is going to be such a full course. And you can get a preview of a couple of the videos if you're going over to YouTube today. And we've got a little bit of a sneak peek of the course over there. So go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that just went live right before this stream, actually.
It went live like 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So there you go. We're really excited. So today I thought in celebration of getting the pre-orders for the course out, we'd sit down and do some drawing of my friend Jolt, who's in Japan right now, working for Disney, building some stuff over there for, I think it's Disney's Seas. They're adding on to it or something. I can't remember. But he's over there for the next 2 years, I think.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Oh,
But right before he left, I went out to California, and Jolt's just got some wonderful wardrobe pieces, let's say. So I got him to pose for me, dress up. We played dress up. It was fun. We sat out by his pool, played dress up, and I got some photos of him. So today I thought it would be fun to pull out a photo and draw him. But in the meantime, also Monday we got a special video or a live stream that we're going to be doing with Proco. It is a live stream, right, Nick?
Yeah, he's going to be joining us here on our channel, and he's going to actually be answering questions and asking you questions.
Yeah, so if you guys know Proco, you know he's got a great channel, a great website, great education, and we, over the years we've become great friends. And so we thought Monday we would get together and do a special live stream and have a great time there. So don't miss out. I can't remember what time that's going to be.
That is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is noon on the West Coast, right?
Gotcha.
So,
Yep. So join us then. It'll be lots of fun drinking my coffee. I've been nodding off in the middle of the day, so I need some coffee.
And you're going to be doing animation on that stream, so that should be
that's
fun for
right.
people to look forward to.
During that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about, I think I'm going to be talking about a little bit about character design and how I construct stuff. Things I've talked about before, but you can never talk about it too much. And then actually animate. Hey, I found my wallet. There
Good
it is.
deal.
Couldn't find my wallet in the last 2 days. It's right here. Sitting right there, right under my Cintiq.
right under your desk.
Anything else? So anyway, also, we had to end the super low sale, everything, things for $1 and all that sort of thing. But still, things are very cheap over on the website. So if you want to head on over to creatureartteacher.com, we've still got some very, very affordable courses over there, ranging from animal drawing to character design, animation, storyboarding, story construction, cartoon drawing, anatomy, what am I missing? All kinds of stuff. Photoshop brushes, custom Photoshop brushes. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com. And,
not to keep the intro going too long, but we're still taking pre-orders on your 2 new books as well.
Yes.
If you go to creatureartteacher.com/books,
Yes.
those should start shipping next month. So they're in production right now. So
yeah, so that's the other thing I wanted to let you know. I'm glad you reminded me. So the big coffee table book is we're waiting on the proof to come through, and it's in production. And
Yep.
then the 100 drawings is pretty much done, and we're getting ready to send that out as well. So the books have been designed, they've been pulled together, they've been completed, and we're just getting everything to the printer now. So we are literally weeks, short weeks, from getting everything to you guys. I'm really excited about the books. The books, I think are going to.
well, yeah, and if once they start shipping, that price goes up. So if you're interested in pre-ordering,
Yeah.
I would get them now.
Yeah, for sure. So today it's funny, it feels weird working digitally. I've been working traditionally so much the last few weeks, between watercolor and oil painting. It feels kind of weird getting back on here, but I like it. I love it. I'm going to work no, I'm going to go ahead and tone the background. Like I always do. I like to tone my background. But then I think I'm going to lighten it back up later on.
Why do you tone your background?
I like to tone the background so that I can gauge my values more accurately. The values being light and dark. When you have a white background, everything you put down on that white looks darker than it really is. And so when you put a half tone down, somewhere in the vicinity of a 30 to 50% gray, your values are much more accurate when you put them down. So that gray kind of balances things out and keeps your values from looking too dark. And it's all in the way our brains are wired. It's all comparison. When you're comparing something to white, if you have a white background, it's always going to look dark. Even if it's a light value, unless it's white, it's going to be darker than white. And so therefore it's hard to gauge. But if you have something that's gray, I can put something down that's not necessarily white, but it's lighter than the mid-tone gray, and it gives me a better sense of what it is that I'm trying to create. So let's sit in the. I think I might want to push this a little bit. Have some fun with the caricature. Maybe just a touch. I love Jolt and his big hat. I'm going to probably start drawing too big. I always do.
Yeah, how long has he had that hat?
Oh, I don't know.
Since all the time we've known him.
Yeah. So Jolt's a man of the world. He's got a great story. He escaped from Hungary back in the 80s when it was still communist, and escaped on a train. And I mean, it was all intrigue and forged papers and all kinds of crazy stuff, just like you see in the movies. And he made it to Paris. And he was telling me he always wanted to see Neil Young in concert, and got to Paris and Neil Young was in concert. And it was just a really neat opportunity for him. So he and his wife made it, and they went and saw Neil Young, and he only spoke Hungarian at the time. Since then, he's learned French, because he went to Paris. And then, he grew up a sculptor. And so he got a job with Disney, WDI, sculpting. And his family was always into the arts. He went to an arts, school, primary school and high school. And then, while at Disney, really kind of worked his way up through the ranks at WDI, and then went off on his own for a while. But
For
then
people
he,
people might not know what WDI is.
Oh,
That's
I'm
that's
sorry, right.
Imagineering.
Yeah, sorry. WDI is Walt Disney Imagineering, and so what Walt Disney Imagineering is those are the people that create all the stuff that you see in the parks, all the rides, and Cinderella's castle and all that kind of stuff. That's all from WDI. Somebody has to design that stuff.
And Jolt was he's like an expert at rocks and rock formations. He does all kinds of stuff, but he was really instrumental in the Tree of Life head sculptor on the Tree of Life. He did a ton of Pandora, the floating mountains and all that in Animal Kingdom. And he's telling if you've been over to Tokyo Disney, there's like the big volcano and all kinds of stuff. He's done all that stuff. He's done some really cool, neat, amazing feats of engineering. Yeah. He's also in the there's a 4-part or 6-part series on Imagineering on Disney Plus, and he's in that quite a bit in the later episodes. I noticed, like the last 2 episodes, he's in it quite a bit.
Yeah, you saw it too, don't you? Right, Dustin?
He talks about I think from the Cars park and also mostly Pandora.
Yep.
Because he was a big part. He was a big part of that.
Yeah, he had to help figure out how to make that look. You can make it a drawing, but then he had to figure out how to make it actually work. That those mountains look like they're floating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all based on the all the vines are actually steel beams that are supporting the whole structure.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So he and I get together, and between his eccentricities as an artist and mine, we have a good time.
I don't have any new questions over here just yet.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw very quickly, almost in the same way that I was drawing.
Should your background? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm sorry. In the same way that I was drawing the 10-minute poses, 5-minute poses. Just want to get in here and just draw very quickly. And I'm going to exaggerate, like his hand here. I'm making it bigger than what it is in the photo, so I want to push some of the features on him. Go ahead, Nick.
No, it's cool. Someone was asking, should the background gray? This was a Twitch question. Should it be a 50-50 between white and black? Is that what you're going for? Or?
Yeah, as long as it's not white. I tend to 50-50 feels a little dark to me, just personally, and so I don't go 50-50. Like this is about 30%. Let's see, it's right up in here, so that's probably about 40. Whoops, right there. So let's see what that is. See if that goes lighter or darker. Yeah, it actually goes darker. So it's probably about 35% that I had it at originally. And I'm going to push that leg out a little bit so it feels like he's sitting in a little. Actually, his head feels too small right now. I increased the size of his arm and hand on purpose, but now it just doesn't feel right. So I'm going to shrink that back down. I'm going to shrink all this back down.
V just said hello.
Who said it?
V.
Well, hello, V. Vedanta. That little hand.
We got a question here.
No way.
The backgrounds in a lot of 2D animated movies were done in aquarelle or watercolors, right? Well, what type of paper did they use for those? Aquarelle paper is quite expensive, right?
Oh yeah, but it was still used that way, and we still used, and acrylic as well. There was a lot of acrylic paintings, especially post '60s. Back in the 40s and 50s, it was watercolor and oil paintings.
By the way, I pronounced that right? Aquarelle?
Yeah, aquarelle. Yeah, aquarelle, whatever. Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard of aquarelle.
Well, that's the watercolor paper I'm using.
Oh, okay.
Arches.
Oh, so aquarel is a type of paper?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was a type of paint.
No. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this back up.
Was there a cheaper type of watercolor paper, or was all of it on Arches?
I'm not sure if it was all on Arches. I'm not, to be honest, I don't know the exact brand. But I know they didn't use cheap paper, so I do know it was done on good paper.
I mean, generally speaking, if you're doing something for a movie, you want it to last. So it's got to be archival grade. It's got to be high quality stuff. So
yeah, I mean, you can go into the archives at Disney and still find the Pinocchio watercolors that were done, and those are, what are those, 70 or no, 85 years old
At least.
Yeah.
have they degraded at all, or do they still?
No, not at all. They're
They
beautiful.
look like the day they were painted.
Yeah, they keep them out of UV light, and that's the thing about watercolor and watercolor pigment. You want to keep it out of. The worst thing you can do with a watercolor painting is put it in sunlight.
Which is why I hang all my art in a dark closet,
Yeah, that's right.
and I never and I break all the light bulbs.
But if you have, well, I can't talk. If you have an original watercolor, one of the best things you can do for it, if you're gonna, first of all, keep it out of direct light. You can put it in an area that's got bounced light, but put UV protected glass on it. That'll help it immensely. Joel loves his jewelry. It's one of the things about him. And he loves Native American culture. He's an expert on a lot of different groups and nations. His daughter is named Yazi, which I think is an Anasazi name.
Perhaps.
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 I'm gonna blow his head up.
By the way, if you enjoy Aaron's streams, please hit that thumbs up button and share. Helps us a lot.
Gotta smash that like button.
Hit the bell. Or whatever.
Hit the bell or whatever. I don't care.
Or whatever. Is that a thing? So I want to push. I want to push.
Zonzi's here says, I heard that the animators used to use art from Pinocchio as sleds to slide down the hall. Might have heard that here, actually.
That's actually true.
That's actually true?
Yeah, before the cells were seen as anything valuable, they didn't know what to do with them. It wasn't until later that they realized that there might be some value to them, and so they started saving them. But at one time, they would slide on them down the hallways.
Oh, God.
Like you do.
I'm sure.
Andreas Deja, well-known animator, he got smart back in the, he came in the late 70s and started collecting the Pinocchio cells and backgrounds and stuff back when you could just take them home. So he's got a hell of a collection.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
He's probably got, just about priceless artifacts at this point.
So one of the things I want to do is just push the pose, and so I want to make sure I'm getting this arm out and getting a nice break in the elbow. If you look at the reference, it's a little bit mushy, but in the drawing, I'm trying to push that a little bit. It's little things like that that I want to make sure we get clearly. like that pose.
You like that pose?
I like that pose.
I like it a lot.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
Coffee, coffee, coffee.
Actually, looking forward to when we can head out to Japan and visit them. Visit them in Japan.
Oh.
So that was one of the things I was going to mention. I was going to mention about Jolt is that since he's left Hungary, become an American citizen and all that, but he's worked all over the world. So now when he got into France, he only spoke Hungarian, but now he speaks Hungarian, French, English, and fluent Japanese. 4 completely unrelated languages. I just find that amazing.
YouTube question: how important is it to use easels / drafting tables? I've been taking drawing seriously lately, but I'm at least 2 months out from getting a decent setup.
Well, it's as important as it is to you, I guess. I mean, if you feel comfortable without it, then you're fine. I've got an easel, I've got a drafting table, I've got all kinds of stuff set up, but I use it all.
In traditional animation, since the characters are drawn on different sheets than the backgrounds are painted on, how do you match perspective?
You can see through. So it's always on a layout on a overlay. So I can see through. As a character animator, I know I'll have a grid to work on over the top of, and that grid will match the perspective of the background that I'm working on. So, everything matches up. If that makes sense.
One thing that's cool about the new course coming out is we're also including literally hundreds of high-res model shots as well.
Oh, that's right. Let me jump over real quick. I'll show you.
Such like the one you're drawing from right now.
Yes. So these will all be included in the course. So I went and shot hundreds of photos, and you don't necessarily. This is meant to be used as reference. You don't have to use exactly these costumes, but it's really meant for you to understand how fabric reacts to the human body in different poses. And so, I mean, here he is in a kimono, and I made sure to light it in ways get him lit in ways to turn him, towards the sun in ways that would really show off the folds, the form, and that sort of thing. So, and this is just Joel. I mean, we've got, I've got a whole bunch of them through here, but then if I go up this way, let's see, we've got a whole bunch here. These are all going into the course. You guys are going to have access to all these. But these are different types of folds. Like this is inert folds. These are drop folds, the way they come off the knee. These are all going to be reference for you to use, jeans, diaper folds right here with a towel. These are all different folds that we're going to, just include that you can download. Spiral folds with the way that a shirt bunches when you roll up your sleeves. So we've got all this kind of stuff, plus more costumed figures right here with my father. He posed. Here he is as an old warrior. But my girlfriend Vedanta, here she is here in different outfits, along with her daughter Gloria, different outfits. Lots and lots of different clothing so that you can see how it reacts. And then we got in here and got really specific with some of like drapery, the way clothes might fall off of, especially when you bunch it up. you know, like on your leg, that sort of thing. I mean, look at this. We've got all of this is going into the course. So lots of great stuff to pull from. Thanks for Dustin photographing all of this.
You're welcome.
So there we go. Here's a shot of my father taking off a jacket. You know, just the sequence of taking off a jacket, how that would look, and all the folds that go, you know, in the jacket. Different angles. You know, here's a denim jacket, you know, and the way the folds bunch up there with thicker material, as opposed to, let's say, something sheer, like this dress that Gloria is wearing. Twirling around. You know, here we had her twirling back and forth. So we've just got literally thousands. Well, not thousands, but probably about 1,000 photos. Just goes on and on and on. So, yeah, there's my how pants bunch up. My father putting out the vibe. I love this kind of stuff. We made sure to get it lit so you could really get a sense of that bunching and where you see the tension and the folds and all of that. So, there you go.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
It's very nice.
Erica says that Andreas Deha's book on the 9 Old Men actually has a lot of the artwork from his collection in it.
I'm sure it does. It's a great way to write it off, right? I would imagine.
Aaron, do you have any tips on how to draw a character consistently without always relying on copy and paste?
Without always relying on copy and paste. I don't even know about how to draw a character with copy and paste. But it's really understanding how a character is built, right? It's thinking about those basic shapes that make up the character. When you understand those, then you can draw that character consistently. Keeping a character simple, you know, that's a big part of it.
You know, a lot of people are saying they're really excited about this course, and I just want to point out that we also have a 25% off our membership still going, and that gets you. We are now over 450 hours of content before this course, so we're going to be well past that. If you get an annual membership, that's the best deal we offer.
Yeah, you get a membership, you have access to all 450 hours of that content.
And it's yours to keep.
Yes, you can download it and keep it forever. And that includes anything new that comes out while your membership is in place. So, you know, a new course comes out in the next, let's say a new course comes out in the next 3 months, boom, you got access to that as well. Everything
Everything for 12 months from the date you sign up.
Yep.
And for those that, are a little more budget conscious, we also do have a streaming plan. That's a monthly streaming plan, sort of like Netflix. And that currently includes almost 400 hours of lessons. The newer courses get added to that about 60 to 90 days after they come out, but that's available as well.
I'm going to push his shoulder up a little higher on here.
Aaron, do you think 10 hours is enough time to spend on an A2 sized portrait?
That's a hard question. It depends on what you're trying to do with the portrait. I don't know. It could be.
A2 is 16 and a half by 23 and a third. It's an unusual.
It's a good size.
Yeah.
Is it color or is it? I don't know. It depends on what you're trying to do. My gut is yeah. I mean, this painting, the big oil painting behind me over here, the one that I'm pointing at right now, that oil painting, that one back there, there you go. that one took 16 hours.
At least, if not more.
What's
I think
that?
it was like 16 and a half hours.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. 16 hours and maybe 43 minutes.
And 11 seconds.
11 seconds. And 0.2 milliseconds. No, but basically a lot of hours to go through.
Actually, to be honest, for a oil painting of that size, that's actually pretty quick
Yeah.
for a portrait.
Well, it's pretty loose too. I treated it fairly loosely.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You weren't getting into doing tons and tons of,
Yeah.
you can get into layering and glazing and
Right.
all
Which
kinds of stuff that.
I would love to do, but it's a course not about painting portraits in oil. It's a course about painting, creating figures and costumes, and so I just really wanted to focus on that.
And I have a question over here where it's I'm going to try to simplify it a little bit, but when he's doing a caricature sketch, he feels that the foreshortening is the perspective is pushed enough, but then when he paints it, it ends up being a lot shorter than he thought it was.
Okay.
Do you have any tips on something like that?
Well, you'll learn from your mistakes, right? So if you've run into that issue, make sure that you're going further than what you think on the next one, and just keep that in mind each time you are creating a caricature, so that you eventually will get it down to where you don't make that mistake consistently. It really just comes down to learning from your mistakes. And if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. You know what? I think I want to pull this shoulder up a little higher. Like he's slumped in a little bit more.
A little more slumped.
Yeah.
Slumped.
There we go. Yeah, that feels pretty good.
questions, Cotton.
I'm all out of questions. We got a small audience this week.
No, we're doing good. Aaron, I have trouble drawing from my arm. I'm assuming they also mean shoulder. Any tips?
If you look at the way that my setup is, Dustin, if you can get the camera on me in a way that shows it, I guess a little better. Yeah, because one way it forces me to draw from the shoulder is just sitting the way that I sit, and it forces me to, a lot of times, if I was lifting a lot of heavy boxes or doing some work outside, when I come in to work the next day, I'll have to sit and rest my arms a lot because my shoulders get tired. But it just keeps it keeps my arms used to working in this way, and it really does keep my wrist from getting all tied up with carpal tunnel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just having a setup in the way that I'm drawing now just really helps.
Is there any new information about the Armand Serrano course yet?
It's canceled.
No.
No, it's we are going to be doing it in what do we say, August?
Yeah, I think we film it in August. Yep.
Yeah, we're filming in August. We had to push it off. We had some personal issues happen with the business here, and so we pushed it off a little bit, and so we are rescheduled for August, and actually it's going to be really good. I'm pretty excited about this one.
And the ultimate question, how's Snow Bear coming along?
Snow Bear is coming along great.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, that's the my next project as far as where I'm going to be focusing 99.9% of my time after this course. So I'm excited about that.
Do you have any tips for drawing hands? I find them really difficult.
So do I. I've been drawing hands for 40 some odd years and I still struggle. I've never gotten good at hands. I struggle. Just, get in there and just keep looking at that anatomy. That's what I do. Look at your own hands. Hands have a certain rhythm to them.
I'm not sure if they mean skin or clothing or if it even matters to your answer, but do you have any tips on drawing wrinkles?
I'm assuming they mean clothing. Yeah, I'm going to have lots of tips coming up soon in the course. But it's really, it's observational. Wrinkles are caused by tension. They're caused by gravity and they're caused by tension. So the biggest question is, what are the wrinkles over? What's the surface that they're hanging over? If it's wrinkled skin, that's one thing. A wrinkled fabric, it's another. And then what's causing those wrinkles? Where is the gravity? Where's the tension? Like wrinkles under an eye, where it's in skin. That's gravity, right? It's all kind of drooping from gravity pulling that skin under the eye downward. So you want to think about it in that term. But if you're thinking about, let's say, wrinkles from the shoulder down the side, the lateral section of the body, that can be caused from an arm being raised and you have tension being pushed through the fabric of a shirt, let's say, then you want to think about that. And you think about the physics of that and draw accordingly. Now, a lot of times people go, okay, that's great, but I can't see that in my head. Well, that's when you start, you got to look at something from life. And it's not as complex as you think it's going to be. I mean, a lot of times the simpler you treat, as long as you're thinking about the physics of it, the simpler you treat it, the clearer it's going to be. Always. Always. The force will be with you. Always.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
All right, let's just get in here and start doing some color. But no, I don't want to do that.
No, don't do that. Anything but that.
Color. I love this that he's got so much color all over him. We'll have some fun with this. I'm going to treat it fairly loosely. I'll go a little bluer, a little cooler with that.
Here's a Facebook question. When working generally with warm colors, how do you apply areas of blue and cool colors so it doesn't stand out in a bad way?
Say that one more time.
When working generally with warm colors, how do you apply areas of blue and cool colors so that it doesn't stand out in a bad way?
Okay, it's really doing it's tasteful accents. So if everything's predominantly warm, then the cool is going to be, now there's going to be a reason, you know, cool colors, warm colors, whatever it is, they're not there haphazardly. They're there for a reason. So if you're putting cool colors down, ask yourself why they're there. So is there an accent, let's say cool blue, in a shadow area that might be reflecting the blue of the sky? And so it's catching a little bit of that. Or is there, you know, for whatever reason. Because a lot of times also you can get reflected light coming off the ground. Let's say the ground, in this case, look at the photo that I'm drawing from. You can see the concrete on the ground and there's a lot of warm light bouncing up onto Jolt's face underneath, and that's warm light. Even though it's in the shadow, it's still warm light. So it's really, you know, whether you're putting something cool or warm in, it's a result of whatever light is being bounced or directly applied to whatever surface you're creating. So think about that. Think about if you're adding a blue accent or cool accents, why are they there? Why?
Why?
When are more animal courses coming out?
Nah, not doing it anymore.
I'm over animals.
I'm over animals.
I'm retired.
Yeah, no, this figure drawing's really turned me on to humans. I'm back to humans now. No, it's whenever I can get to it. I can only do these so fast, so I try to get 3 or 4 courses done a year. That's about as much as I can do. And
if you've seen the Birds of Prey course, that's like what, a 55-hour course, but people don't realize that's after it's edited down. That course took 4 months to shoot.
yeah, that was ridiculous.
Not 4 months continuous, but pretty much. I mean, you were on it almost every day. You know,
Yeah.
little breaks
almost
here and
every
there.
other day, too. Or-
Yeah, and plus doing live streams. You know, we do our live streams. We try not to miss those.
Yeah, I
and-
think at that time we were doing 2 streams a week because we were doing both Monday and Friday.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that was
one of the
during
reasons
COVID,
We
yep.
stopped doing 2 streams a week was
Yep.
so I could get that course done.
Yeah.
But that one just got away from me because there was so much I wanted to put into it, and
Yeah, because we did.
there's so many. Well, Birds of Prey is a big subject. That
Yeah,
was
we
one
did-
of the problems.
We did owls, hawks, eagles. And I think we did like one other type of birds of prey. But and then in each of those species, we brought in 2 different animals. So like for owls, we had like 2 different owls, 2
Yeah.
different hawks,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, different parts of their anatomy, body shots, all that. Just
Shot.
Shot.
Yeah, exactly.
just layers upon layers of stuff.
Why did you sound like Rip Torn there for a second?
Layers upon layers of stuff. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Pretty good. I don't like to give you credit for much, Dustin, but those impressions sometimes are spot on. I'm just kidding. You do a great job.
Can you explain what is bouncing light and indirect light?
Well, bounce light and indirect light are basically the same thing. But direct light, obviously, is direct light. It's the sun shining on you. You know, it's super direct. And then, you know, the sun is also going to hit the ground and bounce up and light the bottom side of your chin, which might be in shadow, but you'll still get some light bounced off the ground. So there's your bounced light, or another term for that is reflected light. And that's really all the types of light we really deal with. There's direct light, and that direct light can, you know, that could be a second light source, rim lighting, but it's still direct. There's, you know, there are different types of lighting within direct lighting. Like I said, rim lighting, and whether it's underlit, top lit, side lit, whatever. And then you've got reflected and bounced light. And that's really it for light sources. And you can infinitely change up, you know, what those sources might be.
Question from Iceland.
Ooh.
Did you animate only the original Aladdin movie, or did you work on some of the sequels too? Thanks.
Only the original.
And you also animated on the Super Nintendo game.
Oh, I did, yes.
Did you do any other Aladdin stuff, like for the parks or anything like
No.
that?
No.
But you did shots, I mean, obviously you did all of Rajah, and then you did a lot of shots of, like in Jasmine. And
Yeah.
you also did some of Aladdin too, right?
I did. Yep, I worked on Aladdin. Matter of fact, there's that famous scene that everybody says where Aladdin's trying to shoo away Rajah, and there's that scene where everybody says, or thinks he's saying, "Good girls, take off your clothes," or whatever the heck.
Yeah,
it was
the urban legend. Yep.
I'm the one that animated that, and that's not what was being said.
You also animated that famous shot of Jasmine twirling around with her hair.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. So I'm just laying in, right now I'm laying in local color. Just gonna get,
By the way, have you seen the
have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Have you seen this? We get the stuff about the new Avengers Campus in Disneyland. Is it land? Is it Disneyland?
It's Disneyland. Yeah.
Is that Disneyland?
Yep. They're
Oh,
not allowed. Disney
is it
is not allowed to do any Marvel parks in Florida.
Oh really?
Oh, really?
Not in Florida?
Yeah, that's the deal with Universal. So
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because
they'll never, unless they give Universal a ridiculous amount of money, you'll never see a Marvel park in Florida.
bummer.
Well, besides the Islands of Adventure.
That's not.
Yeah, it's Universal.
That's what I mean. You'll never see one at Disney.
Yeah. Oh darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Avengers Campus in Disneyland is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like I've seen footage of it all.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Probably the craziest thing is the animatronic that they developed.
Which?
Yeah.
It's the it was the Spider-Man animatronic.
Oh yeah, that thing's super cool.
It was previewed in
The Imagineering thing.
Imagineers, where it's a free body animatronic, I guess, or like a robot, and it holds onto a rope, and it gets launched in the air, and when it's launched, it does a backflips trick.
Oh, really?
It's like a Spider-Man pose at the end.
Wow.
And so now that's part of the attraction where it's a robot dressed up as Spider-Man, and he's doing that trick behind the buildings.
Well, that's cool. I'm doing all this on one layer. I don't know why I'm doing it all on one layer.
That's a risky move, very bold move.
Well, it's not that. It's just, it's not very economical. But, oh well. Oh well. Here we go. Hey, look at that. We're halfway there.
Living
Living
on a prayer.
I knew that was coming.
I keep forgetting the new Star Wars one, and that's in Magic Kingdom.
Star Wars? A Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, that's
Hollywood Disney.
Hollywood, yeah.
Oh, okay. I miss the days when that was MGM Studios, not Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, MGM went bankrupt, so.
True.
Actually, I believe Amazon just bought the whole MGM library.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you're going to start seeing Bond on Prime and all that.
Were you graduated from college by the time you started working for Disney?
Yes, I was freshly. Well, actually, no, I wasn't quite graduated from college yet. I started at Disney a month before I graduated. So I started April 17th, and we graduated in mid-May. So I went and started at Disney, and worked there for a month, and then I went back for my graduation. It was very cool. It was a very cool feeling to be able to do that. That was 1989.
What are your thoughts on rotoscoping?
I think rotoscoping can be done really cool, and it can be done really badly. And there's a fine line between, there's different degrees of, quote, rotoscoping, or you can call it live action reference, because we did that on a lot of films. We would do that, or you would shoot something, and there we go. You'd shoot something and as reference. So a lot of times we'd have an idea for a shot or an action in a shot, but you weren't quite sure how to animate it. You had to figure it out. So a lot of times we get our buddies together, and we'd sit down and film each other. Actually quite a bit. Did it all the time. Matter of fact, that shot of Jasmine twirling around was shot in live action. And then what I did was I took those keys, not the keys, but I actually watched it, and then I would freeze frame it on, various keys that I thought were important. Then I would do my version of the drawing. Then I went back and just animated it based on that. So I wasn't really rotoscoping in the sense where I was drawing over live action. I was looking at live action and using it as reference. So it can be done very well. It can be done badly too, like I said. I'm not a big fan of some of the heavy metal and that sort of stuff.
Did you see Scanner Darkly?
I did, and that to me, I don't even call that. I don't even consider that rotoscoping. It's more, they just treated the live action in a way. It's kind of, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what to call that. Because it's almost as if they just treated the film through a process and came out with what they had. I'm sure there was some, artistic rendition over the top of it, but I just I don't know the process well enough to say one way or the other.
Erica makes an interesting point from for our discussion earlier with that Marvel won't be part of Disney in Florida. Erica says that Disney World is getting a Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot.
Yeah, that is true. I can't remember what the exception for that is because, like, for instance, there's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Disneyland because they redid the Tower of Terror, but they couldn't redo the Tower of Terror here for some reason. So I don't know what the loophole is, how they're able to do the one in Epcot. But
In the meantime, the Tower of Terror here in Florida is still Tower of Terror, right?
right, yeah, because they weren't allowed to change it here. That's the weird thing. So I don't know what the whole caveats to some of that are.
Crazy, man, crazy.
What would you say to your 14-year-old self?
Well, yeah.
Like, hey kid, I'm from the future.
Yeah.
Crack.
Invest in Apple.
Invest in Apple.
Invest in Apple. That would be it.
Invest in Apple stock. Your 14-year-old self would be like, what's a stock?
Yeah. What's investing?
What's investing? What time will the live stream for Proco start?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. Eastern time.
But as far as, not to blow off that question, for me, I was so impatient, and I see that a lot with younger kids nowadays too, just being impatient with where you are and, be patient. Let things happen. Roll with it.
Go with the flow, man.
Go with it, yeah.
You just gotta, go with the flow, brah. I struggle with connecting the head and neck to the torso. I could draw a head decently by itself, and the same goes with a torso, but connecting them for some reason is tricky. Any tips on this?
Yeah, it's understanding proportion, right? And it's understanding the underlying structure. What is it that connects them? How does that, the spine, the neck, the vertebrae in the neck, how does that connect into the rest of the body? And it's understanding how that works. That is the key to understanding what it is that you're talking about, because it does get a little tricky. Understanding the neck. I'm just putting him in the shadow now. Doggone it. Keep overlapping there. There we go.
Gosh darn son of a gun.
Hi, Aaron and Dustin.
Hey, how's it going?
From Peru.
All right.
Greg on Twitch says, I just got to say I love your YouTube videos. They're a big help.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for saying that, because a lot of times I can't tell if I'm getting it out to people that need it or not. YouTube's a tough one.
Someone's saying they kept they kept Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, because the whole park's kind of themed around Hollywood and it's a fan favorite there, whereas in Disneyland it was just kind of thrown in there. And apparently they're allowed to use Guardians of the Galaxy because they're not covered under the original contract. So there you go. More you know.
So the contract is in like the specific characters like Iron Man and
Captain America, Spider-Man,
yeah.
Hulk, X-Men.
Yeah, so like the main core
Mm-hmm.
Marvel group.
And
But Guardians is kind of outside that.
Yeah, and someone else pointed out that at Universal they can't use any of the movie designs, so they're stuck in the kind of the comic book look.
So both ends are kind of in their own little worlds.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about how to best study color?
Observation. That's the biggest thing. And then, I learned a lot about applying color just by think of artists that you really admire that use color very well. Mine was John Singer Sargent and Joaquin Sorolla. Those are two painters that, and actually if you're listening and they're looking for someone to look at, I really recommend them. Joaquin Sorolla and John Singer Sargent. Those two artists alone have taught me so much about color. But also, just look at other artists. Just exposing yourself to other artists helps a lot as well. I've learned a lot painting with my friend Ronnie Williford, and the way he applies color. I don't apply it exactly the way he does, but he's done things in the past that make me think about color in a different way that causes me to experiment and try different things.
In fact, Ronnie has a color course on our website.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does have a course on color on our website. And so if you're looking for, trying to understand color and the way it works, then it's a really great course to start with. And actually, I've come to find that it really comes down to understanding grays and warms and cools and how they apply to that. Pure color is one thing, but it's understanding the grays and the nuances within shadows and how that all works that it really can get kind of complex. And when you get those right, your image can really sing.
Just gotta watch out for the gray area.
The gray areas, yes. So here I'm just going in and I'm going to knock the line work back.
From Jade, can you learn color and lighting from studying movies such as Pixar movies, who use vibrant colors but the lighting looks believable?
I think the lighting looks believable to a certain degree. I do think there's a lot of animated films, Disney and Pixar included, that have fallen into a lighting, what's the right word? Where they do it the same way.
Repetitiveness?
Yeah, it's a repetitiveness, but they've just, there's certain formula. I don't even know if it's a formula, but they tend to overlight, in my opinion. This is my opinion. So, a lot of people can disagree. But I feel that they tend to overlight areas of the films, and so it doesn't come off as realistic to me. A lot of animated films are afraid to let shadow areas go black. When you're shooting especially in a bright light situation, like an exterior, outdoors, because the iris of the camera is adjusted to that bright light, when you start looking into shadow areas, a lot of times those shadows will go black because the iris is shut down so tight to compensate for the bright light. And so a lot of times animated movies, the art director or whoever is lighting they don't want to see those dark black shadows. It scares them. And so they'll go in and they'll light the shadows with bounce light or whatever just to fill it out a little bit more. And it can have a nice look. But to me, when you start doing that, it starts looking staged to me. It starts looking like stage lighting. Whereas it starts losing its, if you want realistic lighting, it starts to lose that realistic feel. And so I've always been a fan of, letting shadows go dark, and using that as a graphic quality, a graphic, way of telling stories.
You should do a course on how to paint light.
Yeah, we've got a course on how to paint light as well. And but yeah, I do feel strongly about a lot of times, animated features overlighting their.
Why do you think that is?
I think that a lot of art directors are subject to executives who want everything to be bright and shiny and candy and everything else. So I think that's part of it. But I also think they fall victim to thinking that kids want bright, shiny candy, that as well. Whereas I think, kids can be a lot more sophisticated than the people making the films think they can be.
So but the original question was, can you learn color and lighting from studying the movies?
And like I said, but what
I
I
forgot to include documentaries like underwater lighting or landscapes, like things like that as well.
Yeah, of course. But animated, not just animated, because obviously, because of what I was just saying.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. It can be badly lit sometimes.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that you can learn the color science from watching multiple sources, not relying on one subject.
Yeah.
Twitch comment. Have you ever seen the movie Rango? The light in that movie was incredible. They thrived with shadows.
It's funny. And you beat me to the punch because that was my next comment. Was to look at Rango. Rango was one of the first ones where I said that is how lighting should be done.
And that's interesting because that was ILM, right?
Yeah.
So that was them. They were coming from a effects background where they were more interested in trying to achieve photorealism in their work, right? I mean, I would imagine that was influencing.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's kind of a shame that Rango didn't do well enough that they kept trying some animated features. I would have liked to have seen more of what ILM would have done.
Yeah. Well, they did. I think the last thing they did was that fairy or the whatever.
Yeah. Strange Magic.
Strange Magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, that really bombed. I've never even seen that. Rango was.
It's a fun movie.
Lucas was involved with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woody,
it's a fun.
Woody worked on that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Have you seen Luca yet? I think it's out today. The new Pixar
I have
one.
not.
Which one?
The new Pixar movie. It's out on Disney Plus today.
Oh, the mermaid thing.
Yeah. The two Italian boys that are jumping.
Is that a
off.
full-length feature?
Yeah. Yep.
And you said it's on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just rambling on this thing. I don't know. I'm just sitting here sketching and talking.
And pooping. Wait, what?
What?
So probably worth mentioning the sale, the new
Yes.
course.
let's do that, shall we?
Yeah. So,
we've got a, oh, there we go. I have a nice little color in there. Yeah, we got, see, a little subtle blue. We go a little grayer, maybe a little darker with that. So we've got great sale going on. Our course on drawing and painting costume characters is on pre-sale right now. So, which is why I'm drawing a costume character. We've been working on this for the last several months, Dustin and I and Nick, and we finally got it to a point where we're going to have it done probably in the next week or two, and so we thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and get this out in pre-sale. And so you can go to creatureartteacher.com and check out our brand new course that's going to be coming out soon on costumed figure drawing, drawing and painting. And I'm talking, and I've got I'm really focusing on fabric, how, you know, folds and bunching of fabric and things like that, and how it reacts to the human body.
You even go quite a bit into different materials, like how they reflect, right? Like you get into sheer fabrics and
Yes.
shiny fabrics and
Exactly.
how to achieve those effects.
Yeah, and so we really kind of went deep with it, and I really had a lot of fun. I realized, you know, when I came out of college that we did a lot of figure drawing and how to draw the human form nude. I mean, we weren't drawing nude, we had to draw nudes.
That'd be a more interesting class.
Yeah.
The model is clothed, but all of the students are
Yes,
naked.
it's clothing optional drawing, meaning the artist. So we, you know, we came out of college, you know, understanding how to draw the human figure, but not really how to draw clothed characters, which is what you're going to be drawing most of the time as an illustrator. And so I thought, you know, it'd be kind of fun to do a course on drawing costume characters, because, you know, when I started at Disney, that's when we were really drawing a lot of costume characters, you know, character design. And I found that when I sat down, I didn't know how to draw. You know, you think you could draw, you know, character in their folds and all that kind of stuff, but then you realize, oh, I really don't know how to do it. And so that's, sorry, I'm looking at the cheek here and trying to get the reflected light just right, and I'm losing my ability to talk.
are you okay?
I'm okay.
You sure?
Yes,
Sure you don't need to sit down?
I'm sitting. So, so that's what we've done, and it's been a lot of fun. Ooh, I don't like that. Ooh, yuck.
A question from Jane, and it's actually related to the course. Will your costume course include instructions on how to research specific costumes, such as if you're drawing an illustration from a long gone era, such as like 50s or 60s? I love those kinds of looks.
Instructions on how to research it? I don't have instruction on how to research it. No, you just gotta throw yourself in there and research it. But I hit on a few different things as far as you know, era specific type stuff, Victorian, and, you know, like the dress that you can see here that I painted with Gloria. But no, I don't get into real specific instructions on how to research it. No.
Well, speaking of the painting of Gloria, yesterday, for people that might not have seen it, we posted a time lapse of the entire oil painting
I did.
from beginning to end. So you can go
Yes.
check that out on our YouTube channel.
I'm going to get in there right now and just kind of get some of this color. Let me do this. There we go. So the color design that I'm doing right now, I'm doing that underneath the lighting layers. So, the shadows and the highlights and all that are already right on top, so I don't have to worry about doing that again, when I add these lighting layers on, or the pattern on.
How do I put exaggeration and simplification in an art piece? Can we implement them together while drawing?
Absolutely. You can exaggerate a character's proportions while still simplifying or clarifying a pose very, very easily.
You talk a lot about that in your character design course, actually.
Exactly. So, it's really coming down to clarity. What's the clearest way of making a statement? That's where the question comes. So, go ahead.
I know what they mean by this question, but it's just phrased funny. Any advice for procrastination?
Yeah, stop it.
I was gonna say I would play video games, maybe take a long walk outside.
Yeah, right.
Get away from the desk. Facebook is great for procrastinating.
Just stop it. Just get disciplined.
Stop it.
Have you watched?
Discipline. At a certain point, you got to grow up. I've told people, and it's my dad talk, but you just got to grow up. And sit down and start doing what it is you need to do.
Have you watched Raya and the Last Dragon yet?
Yes. And I thought it was pretty good.
Armand did a bunch of work on that, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of his development,
Yeah.
or visual development images. They were cool.
What you doing over there, Dustin?
Oh, nothing.
What's a small art or animation pet peeve you have? Mine is when the top canine teeth in dogs and cats are drawn in front of the bottom ones.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Well, I know one you've actually mentioned before, bird flight.
Yeah, and so many people just think a bird is up and down, a wing up and a wing down, and it's really not that. And so you can see bad bird flight animation all the time. And that's both in CG and traditional. And that does bug me. It's funny. Whoa.
What'd you do?
Why is my phone ringing? On my
Oh, you
FaceTime video.
You can decline it.
Someone's FaceTiming me.
Huh.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Hey, we see you on the screen now.
Oh.
We can see you.
I'll turn that off before I leave.
I wonder if it's someone listening and they got my number. I wonder if it was my stupid brother.
Do you have to worry about copyright issues if you look up clothing references online and use their garment design in your artwork?
Not really. I mean, as long as you're changing things around, don't do things exact. And it depends on what it is that you're drawing from. If it's something that's a well-known outfit, then yeah, that's something you want to make sure you're not doing. But by and large, it's all right.
Do you like Pixar movies and Pixar characters?
Yeah. Absolutely. See what that looks like. Look at that. Got an interesting look right there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come in behind him I get really warm with it, but really light.
Facebook question. Hey Aaron, I want to turn one of my black and white ink drawings into full color. How do you approach and work out lighting a color palette, as I find lighting really hard to paint believable? Thank you.
So he wants to take one of his ink, or she wants to take one of their, they want to take one of their ink drawings
Yes.
and
they
scan it, I'm assuming?
No, I think they're just saying they want to move from black and white to color. I don't think it's actually painting over that image. I think they're just using it like I think they're asking how you do like a value. You know how some people paint in black and white to begin with, and then
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, you know, when it comes to making the move to color, you know, the thing that overlaps with color and black and white obviously is value, right? Those are the two things that overlap. And so what you're going to have to start thinking about now is temperature, meaning warm and cool, and hue, meaning what specifically is that color. Those are the things that you got to start thinking about, and so you got to add that to value. And but I have my biggest thing is if you have value correct, if you can get that right, then you're 99% there, because you can pretty much put any hue you want in there. You can make his skin green, I don't care. As long as your values are right, it'll look right. Now, if you really want something to feel realistic and have a real strong sense of realistic lighting, then understanding temperature is more important, I think, than even understanding hue, because if you can get your warms and cools to hit where they're supposed to, then that's super important. Such as like a warm reflected light, you know, that I have going on here. I purposely got rid of the line drawing to show you how rough this is and how rough you can be and still get a good sense of form and lighting and that sort of thing. So, you know, we've got no line drawing in this whatsoever. It's just value, temperature, and hue, and we've got a nice kind of representation of that pose, for as loose as it is. And now I can go in just over the top of it and really start pulling it together, which is what I'm going to do. And I can keep it as loose or as tight as I want.
any advice on how to work with others in a team environment, such as compromising for a common goal?
Yeah, don't compromise and force everyone to listen to your opinion. Because if you don't get your way, then you might as well just stop. So, you know, animation, especially when you're working on a big project, unless you're doing your own thing, it's all about compromise. It's coming to understand that your idea is not the only idea. It's not, and 99% of the time, it's not the best idea. And a lot of times, there is no such thing as a best idea, because there's several ideas that can work no matter what you do. And so it's just getting to understand that and accept that.
Listen instead of waiting to talk.
That's a big one.
I always found when I used to have, back in the day when I had a studio and had partners and stuff like that, I realized, you know, you're actually not going to get your way the majority of the time. I mean, that's really, if there was 3 people, then getting your way 1/3 of the time is about the best you can expect, you know, and expecting anything more than that is just inherently unfair to the other people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
It doesn't mean you shouldn't advocate for your ideas. I mean, if you think you're right on something, then push for it. But you also have to be willing to let ideas die and let other people,
Well, just understand that once again that idea that you have in your head isn't always the best idea, and that there are other ideas that can work as strongly, if not better. So learn to pick your battles
and learn how to battle. I guess is the battle's not the word I'm looking for, but there's
how to debate and how to compromise.
Yeah, how to negotiate. Sometimes you can get your way by letting someone else think it's their idea. I mean, there's an art to that as well. It's not about credit if the best product is coming out at the end.
You. Whoops.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
I want to turn one of my black and white ink drawings into full color. How do you approach and work out the lighting and color palette, etc.? As I find lighting really hard to paint believable.
Well, your lighting should already be figured out. If you're depending on the style of the black and white that you're working in, I guess. But what the heck did I do here? There we go. That should be already figured out, and then it's a matter of adding temperature and chroma color to it. But it's observation, it's understanding. It really is going to be understanding what it is that you're trying to do with your lighting. I mean, it's hard for me to say you need to do this, this, and this without seeing what it is that you're trying to do. And you say that you're bad at lighting, but I'm not sure what you're trying to do with it. But the best thing I can do to tell you is, observe and really think about what it is that you want to do with it. Sorry, I'm hoping that makes sense because I'm trying to talk and draw at the same time again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Have you seen the documentary by Don Hahn called Waking Sleeping Beauty?
Yes.
If so, what did you think of it?
I loved it. I know Don Hahn very well, and boy, he really lived those years. I lived for a good chunk of those years, and it's really accurate.
Don Hahn wrote the forward to your
Yes.
Aaron Blaise Volume 1 book.
Yes, Don Hahn is, when you get our new book, it was Don Hahn that wrote the foreword to my new book. Yeah. Very happy about that. He was very gracious to do that. we go. This is coming along quite swimmingly. I love throwing in little bits of light here and there. Like here's the earring.
I remember seeing one of your wave paintings and loving them. Have you drawn water on your YouTube channel?
Not lately. I have in the past, yes. But not lately. I'll have to do that.
Is lip sync animation done after main character animation on a different layer?
No, it's done on the same layer and it's done all at the same time. So we get lip sync by recording the character first. You do all that ahead of time, and then the character animator gets that dialogue that's been recorded already and basically animates to it. You listen to the performance, and that's through listening to that performance, it's what gives the animator the tools, I guess, to hit the performance that you need to hit in order to make that a compelling piece of animation.
Quick question. How does the theory that saber-toothed cats may have had big fleshy lips covering their teeth, almost like a bulldog, make you feel? There's actually a lot of evidence leading to that.
Betrayed? I don't know.
Misled by the Flintstones. It's interesting, huh?
It is.
I mean, I guess when you think about it, why would their teeth just be out? Are there any animals that I can think of where their teeth are just exposed?
No.
So yeah, sure they would have had lips.
No, of course. I'm sure they would have as well. Because that's just gonna, their teeth can't be exposed like that.
Because your teeth have nerves. And
Yeah.
now you're gonna have to draw saber-toothed cat with their lips, not their teeth.
Well, I kind of did on the one. I mean, there's the bottom teeth. There are animals that have like the tips of their teeth exposed, canines and that sort of thing, hanging out at the bottom. And ironically enough, it's like a few species of deer that have these big canines. Yeah.
Are you familiar with Chris Landreth's animated short about Ryan Larkin?
No.
And also from Manuel Norenia says, did you guys hear about what is happening with the mama bear and the cubs you guys saw on
Felicia.
Yellowstone?
Yeah.
She's been hazed, and there's a chance they will be relocated or worse.
Well, yeah, but I think they're making some ground with that. So I think she's going to be okay.
What does it mean by being hazed?
She's basically being harassed.
By the
To
other
pushed
bears?
out, being pushed out of the park area, yeah.
Being maced and pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
Or trying to bear spray, I guess. They don't want any other people.
Don't worry, your people. Remember there was a guy that kept pushing his way towards her
Yeah.
and wouldn't listen to us? Well, that's why you don't want people getting close, because she'll get used to people, or worse, and it ends up in a bad situation. And that guy got really irate with everyone else, and I wanted to take him down the hill myself, but it all worked out.
Hey Nick, did you recently move your mic?
No. Oh, you know what? My mic's off. I flipped it for a minute.
Oh.
Sorry about that, folks.
Because some of the folks started asking, hey, can you fix Nick's mic? We can't hear him anymore.
Yeah, I flipped it off for a minute because I was doing some computer stuff and I didn't want it to
He
pick
farted.
up.
That's the
too.
real culprit. Too much gas back there.
So I'm just treating this really simple. I wanted to give them a bright background because I wanted it to feel really hot. When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. There we go.
How are we looking so far?
Pretty good.
Pretty good,
Pretty darn good.
Is that a 10 or 20-gallon hat, would you say?
I'd say I'm trying to make it a 50-gallon hat. I'm not making it big enough.
I forget, what is the reason behind the term of the gallons, like 10-gallon hat, 50-gallon hat?
I think it's just the size of it. It's just how big it sits on the head. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows more definitively than me. There we go. So I'm just going through and hitting little bits here and there that might be a little brighter, catch a little bit of light. It doesn't take much. It's getting fun now. See, I like getting into this stage. Because you can start. All it takes are little details here and there. You don't have to. You don't have to go in with a lot of paint. You just hit little details here and there to really get it to just pop. So here I want to get that design in there, so I'm going to go right into that right now.
I'm all out of questions over here.
I'm all out of questions. Never gets old, does it?
Oh no, never.
Did you hide the line layer?
I just turned it off.
I'm just curious what it would look like if you brought it back.
Well, hold on one second and I will show you.
There's a good question.
Now there's an RV.
That right there's an RV. In the future, will you do a tour of your new art studio?
Yes.
You guys need to just do a separate video on that one day.
I kept meaning to do. I thought
You filmed something on your phone, and then I don't know what ever happened to that.
I just never put it up. Never put it up. What were we just talking about?
The tour.
Bringing the line layer back.
Oh, the line layer. That's it.
That layer.
There it is. There's the line layer. Whoops.
It's neat to see it, before and
go.
after.
There it is. Well, a lot of it's dropping out because I'm drawing on top of it now.
Mm.
I actually kind of like it with the line layers on.
Yeah, sometimes it adds life to it, but I like to take it off so it tells me where I need to add some more life to my drawing.
Any animation streams planned for the future?
Well, we got one coming up with Proco
On Monday, actually.
on Monday, actually.
Dustin, cue the slide.
Yep. Cue the slide for Proco, Dustin.
Proco. Boom.
But the when I'm done with this course and we get it out, my big drive is going to be Snow Bear. And it's always been our intention that while I'm working on Snow Bear, while we're making it, we share with you the process. So as I'm going to be animating on it and working over the next 9 to 10 months on it, I'll be sharing it with you. Boy, that really got weird looking. There we go. I pushed that bright a little too bright, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to double down, as they say.
Oh no. Stick with it.
Yes. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
So what I'm doing now is just sketching right over the top of the various layers that I've created, but I'm drawing just regular and opaque paint. My blend mode is just regular. It's not multiply or anything like that. Give them a little smoke. There we go.
Is there any more questions from the Facebook group that I would like to ask?
you. Along without you.
This is kind of fun. Just keep it just running loose like this. I love doing this kind of stuff. No line work at all. Just keeping it value and shape against value and shape. You know, you use the line work to get yourself started, but then drop the lines out completely and just start pulling it together. And that's where it starts getting really fun that way, because now you're thinking in, I'm thinking more in form now, you know, what the form is rather than lines. And it really, it forces you to think in different ways. It's a fun exercise.
Will you have courses from other artists come out while you're working on Snow Bear?
Yes,
We got several in the works.
we've got several. We've got Armand Serrano coming out. For one, we've got, let's see. Got a few. I'm going blank as I'm looking at, I'm trying to look at the shadow color here. There we go. One of my old colleagues from Disney, Ken Sproduso, he's going to be, does beautiful portrait work. He's an instructor now at Ringling. He'll be doing a course on portraits, drawing portraits. I don't like that blue anymore since I've made that background more yellow. So I'm going to change that. To more yellow.
Question.
Yes.
Have you found any more surprise stores art in the move? I think asking have you found any more art stores during this move?
Oh, no, I think he's thinking about, they're asking about like stashed away paintings and things.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
Well, you've got a lot of art that's on display in your house now that wasn't at
Yeah,
your old
that's true.
house.
I love finding these lost edges.
What brushes did you use for the smoke?
My smoke brush. Literally. No, it's I use it. It's one of my wet media brushes that it's meant to look like water dripped into a wet piece of paper, but it works great for creating clouds and smoke and whatnot.
whatnot. Do you ever attempt to do portraits from life, like a seated, standing model, or yourself in a mirror?
I haven't. The portrait that I did here recently is the first portrait I've done in probably 25 years. Yeah, I've done them. I used to do them from life. I just haven't done it in such a long time. There we go.
Manny will be doing a course too, right?
Oh yes, Manny. Of course. Manny. How could I forget? I was on the spot. Yeah, Manny's doing a course on keeping a field journal, sketchbook.
Did
And,
you mention Lyndon? He's doing another
Oh,
one.
Lyndon's doing another course on for storyboarding.
Advanced storyboarding. Yep.
Yeah.
And I got the basics down so far for my own course towards introduction to photography for anyone that's getting into cameras. So definitely looking forward to that.
Any tips on how to color crowds and how much detail you should put in when illustrating crowds in the background or other background characters?
That's really variable. It depends on it
The
just
shot,
depends.
right?
It depends on the shot, exactly. So it just that's hard to say specifically what you would need. But you know, obviously, as things recede, you want diminishing detail. But beyond that, it depends on. It really depends on the shot and the art direction that you're going for. The particular art direction you might be going for might not require a lot of detail. So I'm trying to get all of his crazy jewelry going here.
I read somewhere that they used real smoke in Beauty and the Beast for the transformation sequence. Is that true? I think talking about the animated Beauty and the Beast.
I'm sure they did some. They may have done some overlay. Could be.
Like compositing?
Yeah, compositing. Because I know they've done it in. They even did that in the original Fantasia. But I'm not sure. I don't know if they did that or not.
In the end, would you advise leaving the line work in or remove it completely?
Just depends on the look you're going for.
Once again, yeah, it just depends on the look we're going for. I'm just experimenting right now, so I might decide to come back in and go, hey, I like that right there. You know, throw that line work back in because I don't want to finish it. So I can keep it in areas that actually pull the drawing together, and then I can lose it in areas that I think it's being held together already pretty good.
Do you think one day we'll ever see Aaron practicing with a tattoo gun?
Probably not.
With a what? Tattoo what?
With a tattoo gun.
Oh.
I've thought about it. I've thought about what it would take to be a tattoo artist. Not that I would do it.
We could if we could get the setup or know somebody with the setup, we could have you. The way to practice is like with a honeydew melon, something like that. You practice on something that's
I
got
think the way to practice is on a human like Nick.
But no, seriously, when you're apprenticing, you'll usually start out with like soft fruit
Yeah.
because it kind of emulates what it's like.
Or pig skin or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fruits, potatoes, stuff like that. That's a pretty common. Gourds.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to get tattoo artists like Zulu to do a course on tattoo art.
That'd be super cool.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
If you were ever restricted to just one traditional medium to continue to create art in, what would you choose?
Probably watercolor. I love watercolor. I really do. Really like it a lot.
Question.
Yes.
Looking at this work in progress, what is a realistic element that is just not worth the effort of detailing?
Let's see. Probably right where I'm at now, all the little threads and stitches and everything in his crotch. Like how I like to say crotch. No, it's just, there's certain areas you just don't need to push.
Basically, you want to detail the areas where you want the eye to look.
Yeah.
And you want to do less detail where you don't want the emphasis.
Here I'm going to just draw the shadow in.
I like the way you changed the position of his head, by the way. It's actually better than the...
Have him looking up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed a tangent with the fingers and the shirt on his left hand.
That's a good call.
Did you do this deliberately?
No, that's a good call. That's a mistake.
That's a whoopsie-doo?
Yep, that's a very good call. And I'm going to fix that. Thank you for calling me out on it.
And Martin, with his silly idea, says, I think it would be funny if you guys switched positions for one stream. Dustin painting, Aaron asking questions, and Nick singing.
Nick singing.
Me.
Just gonna paint this happy little tree here. And it's just like little swirls. We're gonna draw the stick figure here.
I think people would enjoy that for exactly 2 minutes, and then they'd be like, okay.
Like, okay, this guy's bored. Any draw to experiment with an airbrush?
I used to use airbrush, but I never enjoyed airbrush. It was always way too mechanical for me. Now I never got into it the way I've got other friends that like Tony Stanley's great at airbrush. One of our animation friends.
We had Tony on the stream, right?
I think we did. Yeah, Tony was one of the animators of the Moose. He animated Rut or Took. I can't remember which one he animated. What I think I'm gonna do. You know what I think I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Tell you what I'm gonna do. What I'm really gonna do.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Maybe we didn't have him on a stream.
I don't think we did.
think we talked about it, and then it just didn't do it for some reason. We'll have to bring him on. I think people will get a kick out of him. He's got that deep voice.
Hey, everybody.
A question for Nick. Do you play Fall Guys?
Nope.
Play what?
Fall Guys. It's a
Video game.
it's a popular game.
I have a 4-year-old son, so I pretty much don't play any video games because it's just impossible.
Yeah, remember the show, the MXC, that Japanese show that we would watch on Spike?
Yeah.
Think that kind of game, but more. How would you describe the characters? Like, they look like costumed plush toys going through these obstacle courses like that.
Oh.
And it's all based on elimination.
Gotcha.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
Amazing work. Love the painting. Do you have any good resources for practicing perspective, either books or people who teach it?
Yes, I have an entire course that I have taught perspective. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, drawing perspective to scale, all of that. So yes, is the short answer. Not to keep promoting myself, but perspective is something that I started learning perspective when I was 8 years old, and it's something by the time I was in college, I actually helped my drawing teacher in my class teach it. It's something I've very much learned a lot about. And so I recommend the course. There we go. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it came out pretty good.
A question for Nick from Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Martin
Nick,
Berger.
how did you meet Aaron? What was your first impression of him?
Tinder.
Actually, we both went to the same college, not at the same time, but
Obviously.
I was teaching there years later after I graduated, part-time. They asked me to come in and teach. I used to teach portfolio class, so I had 110-ish illustration students, and it was my job to try to teach them how to put their portfolios together, how to get jobs, stuff like that. It was the senior year class. And as part of that class, we would bring in a lot of visiting artists, a lot of people to talk about what they were looking for in the industry. Ringling was great about bringing companies to campus that were recruiting, and so a lot of times I would have some of the recruiters come in and talk to our classes and yada, yada, yada. And Aaron at that time was with Digital Domain, who had opened a studio over in Port St. Lucie,
Yes.
Florida, and they were working on The Legend of Tembo and a bunch of other projects. And they came over, I think, to look at potential students, and sort of the same deal. It had been suggested that, hey, Aaron's an alumni, he'd be great to talk to your class, and I said, it sounds like a terrible idea, but I guess I'll do it. Begrudgingly. No, and he came and talked to the class, and I'm pretty sure my first reaction was like everybody else's first reaction when they see his art and the way he speaks. I was blown away. And I think we went out to lunch after that, and we just kind of hit it off and became friends ever since. And then opportunity came up about 6 months or a year later when, unfortunately, Digital Domain went bankrupt. An opportunity to work together popped up, and the rest, as they say, is history.
We robbed a bank, sealed the deal, and that was that.
Yep, exactly. Hey, you got to get startup capital somewhere.
That's right.
A lot of people are saying if they lived in Florida, you could totally practice tattoos on them.
I love watching Ink Masters. Because so often it's like, you see these guys giving their opinions and you just want to smack them for what they're saying. But
What,
sometimes
the tattoo artists themselves or the customers?
Both. But I do love the show.
I feel like there for a minute, Dave Navarro was literally on every reality show on television.
I know.
He's on that one, right?
Yeah. Is he still married to Carmen Electra?
I don't think so.
A question, and thinking this is for both of you. What was the last gift you guys gave to your ladies? Be honest, and why was it significant?
The last, just to be around me another day this morning.
Yeah, every day is a gift.
Every day is a gift.
The day's a gift.
No,
We both just brought them back stuff from Yellowstone.
we did.
I just bought a house. So did you, now that I think about it. We just bought our first house, so
I bought flowers the other day. I
wife-
brought home flowers.
my wife Selena and I are very happy that we got our first house after years of saving up.
Yep.
And also, what thing on your bucket list that you accomplished this year, even during COVID-19?
I don't have anything on my bucket list I've accomplished. Well, no, I take that back. This year, this house, this is probably one of the best houses I've ever had, and I'm really happy.
Well, the biggest bucket list thing I think was the home gym that you have downstairs.
Well, that's one. Oh, yeah. That gym has been awesome. I've been in there every day.
I wouldn't really put that on your bucket list. I mean, your bucket list is the things you want to do before you die. If get a home gym is on that list, I think you've lowered your priority.
I have always wanted my own home gym. I've got to say that.
True, but
Yeah.
before I die, I need to get a home gym, though. It just sounds
those are like the closest things, because I mean, you've already like done skydiving, you've already done this, already done that. I mean, what is there left on your bucket list that you feel the need to do or you want?
Well, I wanted, like I said, the house is a big one because I wanted a house where I could have a space where my father could live as well, so I could take care of my father. And so now we finally have a place where, he can be taken care of. He's got his own house within our house, which is cool. So I'm just going to finish this up real quick. I'm just getting kind of graphic with it now.
Just gonna wrap it up.
Wrap it up, baby.
Wrap it up, baby.
Yeah, this is just a fun little exercise, a little experimental piece with drawing a costume character. Character.
Caroline says, "Hey everyone, dropping in right at the end."
Hey, Caroline,
Hey, Caroline.
from the Midlands.
Sweet Caroline.
Well, we're going to get over to Britain again soon, or at least I want to.
I'm sure most of the
It's
people
not what
watching.
we want to do, it's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Sure, most of the people watching right now already subscribe to us, but if you don't, please consider subscribing and sharing this video because it definitely does help a lot.
Yes. Well, actually, even more than that, consider subscribing to our website.
Absolutely.
You get everything on the website, everything, and that's over 400 hours of content on that website. So
Over 450, actually.
what is it?
Over 450.
Holy moly! Holy moly! So consider it, because it's a great value, and we're constantly putting out new stuff.
Yeah, so like the new course that's coming out, that's included. You get that automatically. All of that stuff as it becomes available.
There he is. Oh, Jolty. Oh, Jolty.
Jolty. He's such a fun guy.
Yeah, he's a
I'd like to
mushroom.
have him on a stream. That'd be cool.
Oh, he would be fun to have on a stream.
Be cool if he could show some of his behind the scenes construction photos, like from stuff that's already done, I would imagine. You know
Well, he
what I mean?
built, Pete Doctor lives in a treehouse.
Yeah.
He built Pete Doctor's treehouse.
Google that, people, if you want to be amazed.
Yeah.
Look up Pete Doctor's house.
Pete Doctor is the director of Monsters, Inc. and Soul. He just directed Soul.
He did Inside Out too, right?
Inside Out and Up.
Up and away.
Yeah, and he's always wanted to live in a treehouse, and so he's got some land there near Oakland, and he hired Jolt to kind of figure it out. Jolt built a tree basically, because you can't build it in a real tree. So Jolt designed the tree. They built the tree and built the tree house for Pete Doctor. It's pretty amazing.
He built a tree. Oh my god.
And it's super cool. It's really cool. And then Billy Joe Armstrong, from Green Day, Joe built him this faux kind of rock facade wall for his home, and that's really cool. He's got some fun stories there. But it's amazing, as an artist, some of the things you can do. Oh, here we go. I gotta get this in here. Well, thanks again, you guys, for hanging out with us today. And remember, our course on drawing, figure drawing, costume characters, drawing and painting costume figures, is in pre-order right now. So you can go and check it out, and it's 50% off, Nick, or what is it?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want a little preview, go on over to YouTube if you're not already there, and check out our preview there. And
The preview's on the product page too, so you can check it out.
Oh, good,
Right on
good.
the page. Yep.
so it's been a lot of fun to create. We've been at it for about a month and a half. We're going to be working through the weekend to get it done, because we're getting started on a new course with Ken Sproduso on Tuesday, and so we want to get this one behind us. So so there you go. So here's Jolt. This was it's kind of quick and impressionistic, and for the amount of time that we were drawing today, I didn't get a whole lot done, but it was fun to do. And like I said, we've got a ton of these figures, reference photos that are going to be part of the course as well. Hundreds and hundreds of fabric reference photos. So that's all going to be part of it. So if you're interested, go over to creatureartteacher.com and check it out. Do you have that product page? Can you show that again?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
There we go.
Yeah, and once again, I'll just go through. There's seven different folds that you can come across when you're drawing characters, and so I go over all 7 of those, each with their own video. Then I also talk about drawing figures from a gestural standpoint. So we do 2-minute drawings, we do 5-minute drawings, and then we also do 10-minute drawings, and then from there we branch into longer poses where I branch out into different mediums. And so we do digital drawing and painting. We do watercolor. We do oil, which you can see behind me. We're going to be doing acrylic, and we also do charcoal. So it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff in there. And I think it's going to be...
Is your voice okay?
Oh, yeah. I always get hoarse at the end. So, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And go on out there, put some beauty back into the world. And I will talk to you next week sometime. So have a great weekend, you guys. See ya.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And in case for any newcomers are interested in any wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram over at Dustin_Blaise, and I'm usually posting new photos every other day. And in fact, I just posted a brand new photo of 2 young bison calf from our trip to Yellowstone. Very cute photo. Hope you guys see that and enjoy that. And also on Creature Art Teacher, you can find some reference photo packs of Florida wildlife, from gators to otters and different assortments of birds that you can find here in Florida. So be sure to go over there, check those out. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next Friday. And as always,
Cowboy Bebop.
Bye.
see ya.
Cowboy Bebop.